Hey guys, this video is going to be about YouTuber Afro Think Tank. He made a video saying this is what black people think of the indigenous Fijians, right? Before I play, let's do the fair use.
Well, just getting bust.
Fair use.
Right.
Upwork gives my business access to the world's best freelance talent, so we can scale on demand. We really need
Suspended until the ringing of the...
One of you guys. Always, my entire life. That has been my main other, because I have a unique look. When we see that, there's something inside that connects with us because we feel like there's something there that tells us that also belongs to us somewhere along the line.
Well, basically, okay, before I get to it, yeah, basically he made a video saying that a lot of black people think that Fijians are similar to black Americans, but he's saying that Fijians are African. They're just mixed with other ethnicities. And of course I went and commented, Fijians are not African. Now, he gets a good amount of views for video. This video got 8.4 thousand views. And I made my comment 3 months ago. It took a while. I mean, I guess I didn't see his response, but I said Fijians are not African. But it's 160 comments. Out of all the comments, right, it's negative comments and some good comments, right? But for some reason, he took the time out of his day to respond to my comment. Fijians are not African. I got 2 likes. Let me go ahead and like myself. 3. But Fijians are not Africans. Right? And when I'm saying Fijians are not African, I'm not saying that they're not of the son of Shem, which is a Negro. Not saying Negro. I'm saying they're not African because African is a classification of where your originated ancestor came from as far as like land-wise. Not saying you're not black. I mean Negro. It's just you're not of the land first. Which Negroes are not. Negroes came from Asia, aka the Negros. Was it the Negros Island? Negros Island in Philippines, right? We come from Asia, right? I would do his other one, but I ain't gonna do his other place too. But yeah, like, you know, he responded. He said, so I just responded now, but I'm gonna show you what he said, right? Okay, it's not there now. We'll refresh. It's gonna do the ad again.
Well, just getting buzz cuts. That's why.
Alright, so we're gonna look at the comment he said. So, like, we're gonna read mine last. This is a new comment, but they know who they are and where they come from. So people like you who are unknowledgeable about history, geography, and migratory patterns, you say the things that you say don't affect them or their identity. How about you go educate yourself before you make clown statements? And clearly you didn't watch the video or you couldn't comprehend the video because you wouldn't have made that statement. So you're not qualified to have an opinion or to state a pseudo fact. Okay. Now before we get to, we're gonna read the comment again. I just wanna show you what he said. See, he gave me basically two paragraphs, right? Because you know what I'm saying is questionable. They're not African. Like they live in what is it? The Pacific Islands, and some live in Indonesia too. Right? They don't live in the continent of Africa. They don't carry any African surnames, African first names, or except the one we discovered, last video, Esau, right? But let's go ahead, watch a little bit of video right quick. We're gonna probably speed it up, so you feel me?
The House is suspended until the ringing of the...
American, a foundation of black African. This is coming from the common sense African American, not the hateful, because like I call it, there are elements of our community who are hateful and unknowledgeable about anything outside of America. And that's America's fault. Okay, but I just want to say this because I always believe this, and I know I have a lot of Southeast Asians from that area watching, and I know when y'all look at me, y'all looking at me like, hey, that could be my brother, you know, and I've always been mistaken for one of you guys, always, my entire life. That has been my main other, because I have a unique look, right? And when I was big, I used to be a big guy, at one point, and I had.
Well, I mean, you have a unique look because, you're not like most black people in the world, all around the world. In fact, if I can pull it up right quick, shout out to Legs Will. I learned this from him since he is a Judean, right? Or Israelite, tribe of Judah. The Philistine captivity of the ark, right? 1 Samuel. The Philistines captured the Ark of the Covenant after defeating the Israelites at Ebenezer, killing 4,000 men initially and 30,000 more opponents to capture. Hophni and Phinehas, sons of Eli, died in the battle. The Philistines took the Ark to Ashdod, placed in the temple of Dagon, which led to divine plagues of tumors and destruction of the idol. Right? And this is a picture of a painting of the Philistines' captivity of the Ark. As you can see, the Israelites, they are golden, they're light-skinned, yellow, with afros, right? And the difference is he doesn't have his in the afro because he used to have his in the afro in the past, but now he has locks, which that's the decision, right? But yeah, he matches the phenotype. Now he obviously can grow a beard because his ancestor seed didn't probably mix with the Canaanite, right? So, and we can go ahead and pull up the Hebrews of Egypt. Where they at? Now, see how you got the yellow skin, afro hair, beard. He matches more of that phenotype because he's an Israelite. I would say it. When I saw his forearms, he had a little bit of hair, but it wasn't as wasn't as like, I guess, he has the like Lex, but he has the Dutch nose, the black Dutch nose. So he's mixed in with the European too. That's probably why he's strong. He's a strong, believer in the African theory, but he's most likely Israelite. So that's why you have a unique look. You have a unique look because you look like the people who were taken out of Thailand almost 400 to 500 years ago. Judea, or Ayudea Siam, the real Judea of the Bible in Thailand, right here. The Black Dutch made a map of it in Ayutthaya, Thailand. Match that phenotype. That's why you have a unique look. All blacks in the world don't have that look. So let's keep going.
And I have big old eyes, most definitely look like one of you guys. And let me tell you what I think I can speak for black people. Common sense is all world who knows, especially ones who know history, geography, and how and human migration. When an African sees you, right? I want you to understand. I'm talking to you guys from as if a black man looking across millennia, a black man who's looking at you from 10,000 years ago, someone who can see his family from 10,000, from 20,000 years ago, despite all the bullshit between Africa and where you guys reside, despite all the racism and all the miscommunication and misunderstanding, despite all that, when Africans see you, something inside of us says, that's my brother, that's my sister, that's my family. We know you are family. And yes, there's some people that
because we share an ancestor back to Shem. If you believe in that, you don't have to believe in it, but Shem, right? The sons of Noah. You had Shem, Ham, and Japheth. When you type Afro-Semitic people, Afro-Semitic people generally refers to groups in the Horn of Africa, such as Ethiopians or Asians, who are Negro, right? And then you have West Africans that speak a language that's considered part of the Afro-Asiatic language family, right? And then we have tribes in Africa named Edo. Period. Right. Esan tribe. Right. That relate to the forefather Esau, which is one of the sons of Isaac and twin brother of Jacob. And Isaac descends from the lineage of Abraham, who descends from Shem. Right? Ham. Right? Ham, right? Ham is spelled Ham original name. See, biblical name derived from the Hebrew name Cham, which sometimes used to mean burnt, hot, or dark. Cham. When you type Ham people, it said it refers to African Middle Eastern nations. Right? They show the black people, right? But all these people that they're showing are not actually Negro. Remember, Negroes are dark brown skin, have afro hair, and grow beards, and Negro noses, right? Not all these people that they're showing in Africa grow afro hair, right? Some of them grow straight hair. And in fact, when you go deeper into it, Hamites, right? The Hamiticized Negroes, right? Said according to Kuhn, since he's saying I have no research in pseudoscience, according to Kuhn, typical Hamitic physical traits include narrow facial features, an orthognathic visage, light to brown dark skin tone, wavy curly straight hair, thick to thin lips. Right? As what they're talking about Hamites, which are Negroids, in that area. Right? So they're saying Ham has more straighter curly hair, and we know Negroes have more afro hair. Then we know a Negroid is not the same as a Negro. So Ham, when you actually spell his real name, right, which is Cham, right, you actually get the truth. Cham people, the Chams, and there you go. People with straight hair. Now some of them have mixed in with people with lighter skin pigmentation populations, but there we go. We got people with straight hair. You know, not all of them gonna have thinner noses, but you know. Then you have Hindu, the Kushites, right? You gotta put Hindu, right? Hindu Kush people. They show Hindu Indian people of India, right? And then, you know, Japheth is basically the white people. You have a tribe in Japan called the Ano people. Japan, Japheth, white man, right there. White people. So that's the truth. Right? The reason a lot of people in America that are Negro, you know, feel related to the Africans there is because Africans are Negroes too. It's just they mixed in with other populations that cause them to become darker or lighter and get more of a thinner hair texture. Because a lot of Africans do have straight hair too, but and darker skin. Because we're supposed to glow red in the sun, not be pitch black, right? So that's Ham. So yeah,
They're trying to say that you're not black. There's some people who, because they equate blackness with just being an American African American. There are some people who try to gatekeep it. But understand, black doesn't belong to those people. All right? And when we say, we look at you, we see y'all as us, it's because something inside us, as we are, as you know, we are the mothers and fathers of civilization. And a mother and a father can always recognize their biological children. And somehow, you guys have managed to make it.
Okay, we're the descendants of people who come from the forefathers Shem. We're not mothers and fathers of. We are the descendants of Shem. There's a tribe in Malaysia called the Semang people. The Semang are an indigenous Negrito people and the oldest inhabitants of Malaysia. Right? The Semang, the keyword Sem, right? What does the Hebrew word Shem come from? Oh wait, I forgot I got E sword. I forgot. My bad, guys. I'm making this harder than what it is. Shem, right? Shame. To same as name is shame. Okay, now it's not showing it. Okay, some Saim. For some reason, not showing it now. Okay, I forgot what it is. Oh, there it is. Yeah. There it is. Okay. The same as name Shem, the son of Noah, Shem. That's why they call these Negrito people of Malaysia Semang, right? Negroes, Semang, Shemites. So, yeah.
Take it all the way over there without changing too much where we can't recognize you. You see, everybody else has changed. Everybody else has turned into this, has mutated into that. Right? You guys, for some reason, you guys have stayed strong and stayed similar. Not only in your looks, but in your culture. When I see the Fijians, when I see the Samoans, when I see the Australians, the Micronesians, all I see is my brothers and sisters who left a long time ago. And I'm glad that you guys survived. I'm glad that you guys made it. That's how I feel. That's how most of us feel.
Well, Mr. Afro Think Tank, I'm here to, since you're saying that I'm pseudo, well, you're saying pseudo imaginary stuff too now. So, you said when you see them, you say, oh my gosh, my brothers and sisters, they left Africa and now they're there and they look different. Well, mister, not all Samoan people have the same phenotype as you and Africans. Not all Fijians and not all Australians have the same features. Some have straighter hair. Some have really, really dark skin. Some look like Polynesian. Not all of them are Negro. Right? And the big thing, right? You're not saying credit research. You're making an assumption, right? If you want to actually know where they at, how they actually got there, right? Let's show how they actually got there, and it's easy. Just type do Papua Indonesians, right? The comment I made, right? The comment I made. The Papua people are not classified as African. And the Fijians descend from the same ancestor with the Papua people living in Indonesia. The reason you believe they descend from Africa is because they have Afro hair and Negro facial features. That's where all that what he was talking about. That's just my brothers and sister. However, just because you have Negro characteristics and Afro hair doesn't mean you're African. Exactly, because we just showed the Semang people of Malaysia, right? And we show, we got the Fijian people of Fijian Islands. Got Papua New Guinea tribe. You got in Papua, you got the Aeta people in the Philippines, right? So many East Africans are classified as Negroids, which is a mixture of Negro and Hamitic features. Hamitic features equals a straight hair, thin lips, and oblong facial shape. Many Arabs are Africans too, but they are not Negro. Just handle the truth, right? We already learned from here, from real research, right? Not me saying that's my brother and sister. No, I got real research. Where your research at? You didn't say no real research, right? So you're unknowledgeable. You made an unknowledgeable statement. I made a knowledgeable statement, right?
Let's feel.
And let's look at where. Okay, so are the Papua? Because he called these people people. Sorry guys. Of Indonesia, African. Right. So we're gonna pull up the Papua people. We'll just say the Dani tribe. The Dani tribe. The Dani tribe is an indigenous population in Papua indigenous population in Papua, Indonesia, Balian Valley. Right? You see? This man, the Dani, looks exactly like my granddad. Got smooth body, smooth form. This might be the tribe of Dan. I wish Lex Will could make a video on the Dani tribe. I was about to, but I don't know if he classified him as that. But I might make a video on it. But this dude looked like my granddad. Got the same smooth body skin. My granddad has nothing on his arm. I got a little bit of stuff on my arm, but you can barely see it. But my granddad, he got nothing on his arm. He looked just like this man, just a little bit different, a little bit lighter. But yeah, like they have Afro hair. They grow afros, locks, smooth skin. They have Negro, but they're not from Africa. And they just said no. The Papua people of Indonesia are not African. That's a Papuan group. This is a Papuan group of Indonesia. They are indigenous Melanesians, a distinct group, and are the earliest among the earliest populations to settle outside of Africa. Right? That's a theory, with ancestry stretching back 50,000 years ago. So remember, you can't say they're indigenous, right? You cannot say this group is indigenous and then say they came out of Africa 50,000 years ago when we have no evidence of going back 50. We can't go back 50,000 years. We just can't. We can't. Right? So it's all made up. But yeah. You can't say no, they're not indigenous African, and then say they are indigenous and they came from Africa 50,000. You can't say that. It's either yes or no. And they said no, right? Let's do, are the Aita people African, right? The Aita people are not African, but are indigenous Negrito group in Philippines who were among the earliest inhabitants of the islands, migrating over 30,000 years ago, right? Let's do, are the Manic indigenous to Africa? No, the Manic are not indigenous to Africa. They are indigenous nomadic hunter-gatherer group located in rainforests of southern Thailand and northern Malaysia as part of the Negritos people. They are considered some of the earliest inhabitants of Southeast Asia, descending from early modern human migrations out of Africa, right? Even the Andamanese, right? Are Andamanese people African? No, right? Now remember, you cannot say no and then say they came Africa 1,000. You can't do that. It's either yes or no. And the research says no. So now Mr. What's his name? Mr. Afro Think Tank. Did Chinese ancestors come from Africa? Yes, scientific evidence strongly indicates that the ancestors of the Mayan Chinese people originated in Africa. Right. And they're saying they came out 50,000 years ago. Right? So if you want to say that black people are from Africa, right? Then the Chinese are from Africa too. Right? So, yeah. But remember, they're saying that so I'm telling you, this part right here, settle outside of Africa, that's based off a theory of this, right? What's it, Lucy? First human. This is what the out of Africa theory is based off of. This right here. That's what it's based off. Afro think tank. Do you look like this thing? Do you look like this animal? Afro think tank. I'm not even trying to participate. Do you look like do you come from this ape thing? You don't. You are a human. You are a person of man. Because the Bible, we're not human. We're of man. Man, people of man, male and female, grow afros or locks. Have red, brown skin. If you're a male, you have grow a beard, big body, right? Woman, thick body, no beard. You know, we're of man. We're not of a monkey. This is what out of Africa theory is talking about. However, no disrespect, if you do the Chinese people, right? If you do Chinese people, right, they have straight hair. They have straight hair. So they might come from the Lucy, but we don't. We come from Asia. That's why there's an island in Philippines named the Negroes Island. Right. So yeah. Skip that to the video.
When we see you guys do your Hakai, right? When we see that, there's something inside that connects with us because we feel like there's something there that tells us that
oh yeah, let me
belongs
show.
to.
Listen. Okay, yeah. Now they have Negro facial features, but Mr. Think Tank, they have straight hair. They don't have Afro hair. I'm not saying we're not related, but they have straight hair. They have straight hair, sir. This man has straight hair. I'm not saying we gotta get some more DNA. He has straight hair. He fits that Hamitic phenotype. Negroid, not Negro. Mr. Afro Think Tank, you and I are Negro, even though I'm kind of Negroid too. But we're Negro. I have Negroid admixture, but we're Negro. He's Negroid. Possibly Negro too. But Negroid. He's not us. These Ephesians, these are Negroes. Some are admixture of Negroid. The Danny tribe I showed you, they're Negro. But they're not from Africa. They're from Asia. That's where all black people, I don't care if you're from Africa, every black person and every Negro in the world descended from Asia. No matter if you're dark or light, you came from Asia.
To us somewhere along the line. That you took that power, the silence between the sounds, that passion and energy, that earth spirit. It seems like you carried that along all the way over there. And I have to be honest, you guys are one of...
They didn't carry no spirit. What happened was, right? What happened was Cham came to Asia, kicked out the Zia dynasty. The Zia dynasty, right? The Hung was the Zongu, Zion, was it Zongu dynasty? I forgot how to say it. Zongu dynasty. I think I spelled it wrong. I forgot how to spell it. They kicked all the Negroes out. The Edo people of Japan, they kicked all the Negroes out. The Israelites stayed for a minute. The Edomites and people of Lot got kicked out into the Middle East and into Europe, and then colonized Africa, and then some went to America. The Israelites in Thailand got captured by the Dutch and were sent to Europe and America, right? The Negroes that didn't get pushed out They went on boats to islands in Asia and hid in the mountains and other islands to escape getting kicked out of Asia. That's why the Fijians, right? The Fijians and the Papua New Guinea, the Bougainville, they left in when the Hamites came to Indonesia, which is the Asians, right? The Mongoloids, the straight haired people. When they came to Indonesia, they got on a boat and got the hell and got out, went to the other islands, while other Negroes got shipped out. Right, so yeah, that's why you're in Africa. I mean, we're in America and in Africa because they were there in Asia. They were able to escape through the islands. So yeah, they took a boat.
Are one of the greatest successes of the African people. You guys are one of our success stories as we ventured out of the continent of Africa, following the migratory.
Yes, they are a great success story. They were able to stay. Some stay in Indonesia. Some stay in Thailand. Some able to just go away from the islands to the Pacific Islands and stay near Asia and still have Asiatic, names, Asiatic cities, Asiatic culture, while we have to go by a freaking Freemason African booty scratcher identity, even though us Black Americans don't even have African booty scratcher surnames. We have European surnames because we came from Europe. And some came from Asia. But the Black Americans who were slaves to Native Americans, they got their surnames from the Native Americans because they became African and then they became Black American here. So that's why right, when a lot of you black people say that you're African, right, you're basically saying that you are a slave. And I'm saying you can't have a European surname and descend from a slavery. Reason I have a European surname. Now, other people, other people, right? It's because my ancestor came from Europe. They were European, Black European, Negro European. That's why I have a European last name, European first name, European middle name. Other people, they have Jakir, all this DeAndre. That's slave. Well, I don't want to say slave because that might not make sense. But there's some people. They have the Europeans' first name and last name, but they are still classified as African or Negro slave because they came from Asia. So what I'm saying is, even us black people in America, a lot of us are not even African. We're European, right? So let's go ahead.
Patterns of animals that we use for sustenance, because that's how you got there. And many of you didn't change, and I know a lot of you guys are being hidden by the Greater White Dominant Society. A lot of you guys are being hidden by the Han, like Northern Asian Society, who likes to pretend like you don't exist. But I've been to the Philippines, and I've seen the original Filipinos. I lived in Japan, and I've seen those original Japanese. I haven't been to Australia, but we all know they're black. And I know that you micronesia, Melanesians, all you guys, New Zealand, I know all you guys are just cousins. All you guys are brothers and sisters. And y'all walked, and y'all sailed. You are the greatest sailors in humankind. You guys even made it to South and Southern America to the point where even Africans believe that it was us.
So if you know they sailed, right? You just admitted they sailed there, right? Or took a boat, right? If you know that, right? So we're gonna go by his theory, right? Let's pull up this map. Right, so we see, right? So we already learned from the internet, right? All these tabs, gosh. We're gonna go. Dang, it's slow too. That's not a good sign. Okay, oh my, bro, what? This is ridiculous. Okay, so no, the proper people of Indonesia are not African. They are indigenous Melanesians, right? So remember, you look at this, right? This is Indonesia right here. Indonesia. Okay. What the? I can't zoom in. Okay. There go in. I'm trying to show y'all the truth, and they wants to give me this ad when I zoom. Hold up. Gosh, bro. All right, so you got Indonesia. They said the Dani and other Papua tribes share DNA with the Papua New Guinea, Solomon Islands, Fiji people, Tonga, right? In Australia. So they started off right here in this land, right? When the Hamites, the Cham people, the other people came, straight hair people, when they came, they said, get the you know what out, or you're going to get put out or death, right? What did they do? The ones that said, man, I ain't going for it, right? 6 feet in the graveyard, going to the Most High, right? The ones that said, okay, I ain't with that. I'm finna go. They took a boat and went to here. Then they took other boats to there. They went boats to here and there and there and all over here, right? And then the other Negroes, they're not related to the Aita, but when Aita were here, well, yeah. So I'm not sure if the Aita left before the capture of Judea and Thailand, but let's say they were there, right? The Manik and the Aita and then the Semang, right? When they captured Ayudea, right? The ones which were Black Americans, right? The ones that got captured out of here, out of there, got sent to here. Got sent to there. And then they became African and then got sent over here. And then to America, to Brazil, right? The ones that didn't get captured, they escaped to the mountains in Thailand. Others escaped to islands in Vietnam. And then the Cham people came and killed and then murdered them there. That's why there was only 2 left. And then a lot of them migrated to the Philippines, migrated to Malaysia. Some even scattered here, right? Afro think tank wants you to think that instead of being that they took their boats, right? He wants you to think that they came from here and they took their boats and just fled all the way to here. That's what he wants you to think. He wants you to think that they took a boat all the way to here. And that's ridiculous. They will be dead by the time they try to get there. You will be dead. They didn't have no ship. They had to take a canoe, a Danish ship, You will be dead. He's saying they came from here. And then they took a boat all the way down here. No. And then let's say they came down. Let's say they migrated down here. And then it's still a long time. It just doesn't make sense. Everybody ain't gonna survive that boat trip. So now, if you want to know how Africans got in here, Mr. Think Tank, you had the Nigeria. Where's Nigeria? You had the Edo people who were in Japan. Where is that? Japan. And when the Cham people came, they kicked them out. And then they went into China. And then they got pushed out into the Middle East. Oh, my bad. Russia. Some went to Russia, and then some went to Middle East. And then the rest went into Germany, France, Italy, created the Roman Empire. And then they went down, colonized Africa. And then they colonized America. So, I'm just trying to, prove what he's saying is blasphemy.
Who came this direction when in fact it was actually you guys. There's still a population of you Melanesian, Micronesian subgroup DNA-wise in South in Peru. There's still a small population of you guys before you guys mixed with those other Asians that came over Bering Strait through from Alaska and Russia over to America and came down and met you guys somewhere in Central and South America.
Remember, I've already said when you say you're African, you're not even saying you're a human being. You're saying you're an animal. This is it's not even. This is a beast. You're not even saying that you are you're saying you're a beast, Mr. Afro Think Tank.
It pisses African Americans off, and I'm gonna be honest. When we see those white Europeans cosplaying you, when you see them doing your dances, when you see them pretending to be like you, it's offensive to us because it's equal to some European pretending to be African and stealing our culture and stealing our ways of life and stealing our spirit after trying to crush our spirit. And we see those Europeans doing their haka dance, the haka dance, and pretending to be you.
Mr. Think Tank, they're not pretending to be African. Listen. Look at the African. Hold up. The African has straight hair, Think Tank. Besides the Maja Pit people of Japan, if you're a white person and you don't match that Arnold phenotype, you come from this in Africa.
When we in fact that we know that when they do it, it's empty. I would love nothing more, honestly, to just see a bunch of Africans follow the lead of one of you guys in a ceremony. Excuse me if I'm saying it wrong. I would love to see African Americans, continental Africans, fellowship more in a more intimate relation, a more intimate manner with you guys, because we are all we remember that we are spirits. We love and cherish the earth. We love and cherish everybody, and there's not that many people on the planet that have the
I'm gonna be honest with you, Mr. Think Tank. All African or Negroes of the world do not love each other. I'm gonna be honest. In fact, people like you were called Hottentots in South Africa. Let's look it up. We're called Hottentot. See, it's an animal called Hottentot, right? Oh my gosh, bro. Hottentot is a deeply offensive, archaic, derogatory term formerly used by Bantu colonists, not white colonists. Bantu European colonists to describe the cold Israelite and indigenous pastoral group in South Asia. You know what? The Siamese, right? This is what the dark skinned European Bantu people said about the Khoisan. They called them Hottentots, a light skinned derogatory term. So no, it's not true.
Natural love and care for humanity wholeheartedly than you guys. Like all over the world.
Like, let me show you something. This African YouTuber, right? See, look, he want to make his face pale, right? This African YouTuber, he called a black American a yellow man, right? And we're all supposed to be brothers and sisters, right? But he called him a yellow man. That's the derogatory term. You don't think this popular West African YouTuber who's dark skinned trying to make himself look lighter, right? Because he worships the white man, right? You don't think that he sees you as a Hottentot too, Mr. Afro Think Tank?
And I've seen how people act naturally. We see how certain groups of people act naturally, culturally. And I have to say that you guys emulate us the most because you are us. And don't ever let anybody question your blackness. Don't let even a person who...
I don't think the Ephesians, if you're talking about them and the Papuans, imitate African people, because African people shave off their hair. They worship animals. They poop on the ground. Not all. I'm sorry, not all. But the ones that we've seen through these scholarly research, they do those things. The Ephesians, they grow their hair out into bushy afros, long locks, beards. They're family based. They eat coconuts. That sounds more like what us Black Americans would relate to, and knowledgeable Africans would, right? So I don't agree with that.
Who looks like me, don't ever let African make anybody question your blackness, because your blackness goes further back than any concept of modern day society. You guys are the superheroes of humanity. Do you understand that? The things that you guys have accomplished with the technology and the connection with nature. You guys managed to circumnavigate the world on living boats. Something the Europeans couldn't do. Their claim to fame is sailing all over the world, but you guys did it first.
So, Afro Think Tank, which European are you talking about? Are you talking about these Europeans? These invaders who came from Russia and Africa? You talking about these? You talking about these people? Oh, now they want to show the real ones, right? Right? Okay, now they're mixed. They're messing it up today. So, Afro Think Tank, are you talking about these people? These people right here? These Europeans, or are you talking about what Benjamin Franklin said? Are you talking about what Benjamin Franklin said? He said that the Europeans during the 17th century, 1751, were swarthy, dark skinned. Are you talking about them? Or are you talking about this fake imposter, African dude, Eastern European dude, Japheth dude, right? Because last time I checked, the swarthy Africans sailed to Europe in boats. So it wasn't just them. We sailed too. So which one are you talking about, Afro Think Tank? Explain, please. He sailed to Ghana. He don't even know that. His ancestors sailed to Ghana. Let's see that.
You guys sailed the world. So you circumnavigated the world.
They didn't do it. We did it too.
In such a beautiful, natural, and very dangerous way. I can imagine how many of your ancestors passed away circumnavigating the world, the world, populating all those islands in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. When I see that daunting,
because they came from Indonesia. That's why the Dani, what is it? The Dani, the Karabal, I forgot what. Let me see. The oldest Melanesian groups. They might say the talk, but let's see. The Papuan speaking populations, right? So they're older. Are the Dani tribe older than the tribes in Papua New Guinea? They might say no, but okay, let's see. Oldest Papua New Guinea tribe. See, they won't even say which tribe is the oldest. I have no idea why, but but when you look at the map, right? Not this one. When you look at the map, the Indonesia, because remember, a lot of Papuan people they're mixed with some Austronesian and Ham, right? These Papuans in Indonesia, a lot of them are pure Negro. Like I pulled up right now, like no admixture. You pull up the Dani tribe, right? This dude look like my granddad. So my granddad is more a little bit lighter. It has a little bit straight. Nah, not straight. Like I'll show a picture one day, but he has more of a curly afro. See, look, got locks. See, they got locks. And then when you pull up the Huli, right? The Huli tribe, right? A lot of their people got straight curly hair. We do women. Some of their women have straight curly hair. Okay, let me type Papua New Guinea women. Some of the women have straight hair or curly hair. The Papuans in Indonesia don't. They have Afro hair, aka the Dani tribe. What else? The Asmat tribe. I'm trying to find the one with the locks. Oh, the Lani. The lock. I remember this one dude. He looked strong. Yeah, look at that. They come from Indonesia too. See the 4C Afro, long locks like a Jamaican. They live in Indonesia. right? Indonesia. So, Mr. Afro think tank, since you're not knowledgeable, right? All these groups before they intermingled and had admixture today, they came from Indonesia, and they took boats because the Ham people came and said, "Get out or die," and they left, formed Papua New Guinea, went to Australia, Vanuatu, Solomon Islands, Fiji. Some had already left, New Zealand, Tonga, all this, right? Got to leave or you die. They didn't come all the way from West Africa, right? You have over 200 million people in West Africa that speak French. That's why they nickname it French West Africa. You know why think tank? Because they sailed from France. You know there's tribes in West Africa that are known as navigators. West African tribes that seafar. The crew people in Ivory Coast, where they speak French. Prominent West African seafarers, right? And they speak French. So how, you know? Oh man, this is. I don't know. Whoever's, y'all don't understand how easy this is. This is so easy. And even if they didn't come from here, right? China right there. Japan right there. The Edo come from here. The Edo tribe in Nigeria came from there. But let's get back to your video.
In my mind, I just can't imagine how you did it, but I know how you did it. You followed the stars. People forget that before maps, we followed the stars. And I know y'all got that from us Africans, because we was following the stars tens of thousands of years ago. That's how we navigated the planet. That's how we walked our way out of that massive continent. That's how we walked through Southeast Asia.
Yep, and when we followed the stars, guess what happened? We got kicked out of Asia. He's right about that. We definitely followed the stars. And now, guess where all of us Negroes and black ass oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Guess where all of us Negroes and us black MF Africans are now? We are in Africa, in America. We're not in the Pacific. They're not in Asia. I mean, they're in Asia. They're near Asia, but they're not in the continent of Asia no more either. Because we followed the stars, and guess where all of us Shemites are now? Out of Asia.
Asia, all the way to the other side until we couldn't go anymore, and we just got on boats and went. So I just wanted to say that we African people absolutely feel kinship with you, and you are black. You are our first. You are among.
I'll translate to the ignorance of what he's trying to say. Us Shemites, we are Negroes. We are Negroes from Asia. That's what he really is trying to say. But because we got kicked out for worshiping the stars and worshiping our ancestors, which breaks the Ten Commandments, which breaks the book of Exodus, which breaks the book of Leviticus. Do not worship your ancestors or the dead. We are not in Asia, Southeast Asia, Europe no more. We are in Africa. We are in Americas, the land of Canaan. We're not in our land, Shem, Asia no more. We're out of there. Because we broke the Ten Commandments and we broke the book of Leviticus. We broke all those commandments and law. That's why, not just Jacob, but Esau too. That's why we're out of Asia. That's what he's really trying to say.
Amongst the first group to leave Africa, to explore this planet, to conquer this world. And I just want to say I appreciate and I love all of you. Southeast Asian, Polynesian, Melanesian, Micronesian, any kind of, if I'm missing a Indonesian, let me know.
He tried to act like he just pro-African or pro-African. These people have straight hair. These people have straight hair, man. They have straight hair. And plus the Melanesians ate the Melanesians ate some of these people, right? Let's get back.
Hawaiians, Samoans, all of you. Now I do know within your community there may be some racism towards Africans, but I know that's propaganda.
No, there's racism towards Negroes and Melanesians because the Polynesians are not black. They're ham.
I'm not worried about those who deny their blackness. I'm not worried about those who hate us. Because I know the majority of you guys love us and you do yourself as us. And don't let
Afro think tank, the black Bantus of Africa hate you. That's why they called you Hatanot and other Khoisan or colored lighter skinned Africans. The West Africans, this dude calling a black American a yellow man because he don't like what he say. He's saying that black Americans have been tainted by African immigrants, even though I disagree. I don't agree that the Africans came over and messed up our community. I think we all go by the Most High. That's why we all are kind of messed up today. But he called him a yellow man. He didn't say anything racist towards him. He called him a yellow man. I don't think it ain't just hate towards from other groups. It's hate. People break the thou shalt not abhor Edomite commandment too. So
Let anybody who ain't us tell us who we are.
even though I don't think Tank's a Edomite, he's for sure an Israelite. I might be wrong, but he matches the phenotype of the Hebrews in Egypt. So
Right, because we Africans know who you are. When you sing, we know who you are. When you dance, we know who you are.
alright, let's skip.
Like you guys. And remain, please don't ever change. Continue to be who you are. So this is just a quick video. I just want to say shout out to my brothers and sisters on the other side of the planet. We see you, we hear you, and we love you forever.
So since Afro Think Tank never talked to those people, he has never talked to those people. I have, a lot of them have never heard of us. I'm be honest. A lot of them have never talked to a black American, never heard of a black American. They've only heard of Michael Jackson and some black American artists, but they've never heard of us. They're starting to hear about us now, but a lot of them never heard of us. So when you're trying to talk to them, they're not watching this video, sir. They don't know who you are. In fact, they actually know more Africans than us, because Africans are going over there like, oh my gosh, this is beautiful. Like, and they know that they're not African either. So they're red, but
Ever. Over distance, time, and moral. Anyway, that's all I gotta say is Afro Think Tank, learn some pizza.
wait.
Distance, time, and moral. Anyway, that's all I gotta say is Afro Think Tank, learn some pizza.
So Lex, now he didn't show the forearm, but I know this don't matter. It's the forearm. But would this be Esau? Now I told you I'm gonna make a video about this, but I have the same stuff on mine. Like the dots, I got that on my hand and my arms. But my dad doesn't really have a lot of dots on his hand and arm, I guess. But it looks like a smooth. I'll have to show on the video I have to plan. But my granddad, he don't got the dots on his hand or arm. He don't got none of that. Just straight smooth. But he could, like I told you, he got the Dutch nose, so he could be mixed with the black Dutch. Because I told you, what you call it? Just imagine you get a smooth skin. Like, just imagine, right? You get the Khoisan, right? We'll get it now. I'm trying to find a pure. I don't want to use King Koi. I want to use this other person I saw. Because he had that. Use him. So he doesn't really. I think he doesn't have the Dutch nose. But when you look at this person, right? This person, I don't know who this is. Oh, indigenous chief. Okay. When you look at this man, he don't really. I think I might be wrong, but he don't have the Dutch nose. He got the smooth body, right? When you get someone like a king, okay, we'll do King Khoisan. I don't care if he got the Dutch nose, but let's say he got it, so we're gonna do him anyway. He's an Israelite too. It's not that hard, y'all. When you get someone like King Khoisan and you mix him with an Edomite, right? What happens is your body gets more hairy, but your forearms are gonna stay smooth. That's at the first generation. But if you keep mixing, so the second generation, another Edomite or Japhetite, right? Because not just Edom has hairy forms, Japhet has hairy forms too, and some Hamites too. Do that for a second generation, your form gonna get some dots. You do it for a third generation, right? It's gonna be, you might see some hair on your arm. After that, the Israelite blood might be gone. So and then you're now Edomite now. But you have come from the seed of Jacob. So you got like the tribe of Dan, right? The tribe of Dan was in Europe. And then the Edomites came and, they intermingled, right? So the Danites are going to match. They're going to match the phenotype of Edom. So you got the Henry Louis Gates Jr., right? Henry Louis Gates Jr., he found out his ancestry went back to Irish king, which was a tribe of Dan. Now I can't find a photo, but Henry, I've already seen a photo. Henry Gates has forearm here, but he comes from a Danite king. Remember, the Danites mixed with Edom and Japheth. So I'm just saying that, when you keep mixing, you're not gonna keep the phenotype. Michael Jackson, I'm not sure if he's an Israelite anymore, because he has the hairy forearm. But his brother Jermaine don't. Was he Michael Jackson Thriller? Oh yeah, Thriller. Let me try to find a photo. If I can find the outfit, the photo. Okay, we'll do Michael Jackson arm. Tazariak, if you're watching, no homo. Since you're addicted to pornography, Tazariak, that's why you're saying no homo to you, Tazariak. I can't find a photo. What you call it? But Michael Jackson has some hair on his forearms, but his brother Jermaine don't, I think. So. And his dad, Joe Jackson, has hair forearm here, right? So I'm saying, guys, when you mix with Edom, it's gonna show up on your forearms too, depending how much Edom you have. I might be wrong about that. I could be wrong, but it's not gonna be like prominent. Like, it's just you're gonna notice those dots. You're gonna notice. So my granddad, he ain't got nothing on his arm. So, and I don't even know if his forearms could be coming from Native American mystery. You never know, but like,
It will be. We are our first land. Oh, okay. People say that they came from Africa. Oh, okay. Yes. They landed here at Punta. Yeah. And then the ship will wreck. And then they swam the shore. And then they came over here. Probably the first village was up in the interior.
Right, but the crew people, the crew people of West Africa took boats too. The crew tribe of Corvette, and they speak French. So they came from France, sir. They took boats too, and they speak French, sir. Skilled laborers. European ships, right? They maritime. See, you're not the only tribe that can create boats, sir. And let me tell you something. He'll say that he came from Africa, but if he ever went to Africa, he would immediately come back. And if an African ever came, he'll tell him that he's not Fijian. So
After that, came over here. We chose this wonderful place before the coast. Yeah. Whenever went heavy rain, we don't know.
first of all, if you're indigenous to Fiji, right, it would take a long time to take a little small canoe or boat to the island that you're talking about, right? By the time you come from here to there will already be other tribes there, and they would take your head off. But because Indonesia is literally right next to Solomon Islands, Fiji, right? It would make sense you came from here and there to there, right? That would make more sense. Because if y'all would have came from there, it would have been there would already been tribes there. So if that makes sense, but
No strategies.
In all that's been said by some Western writers and historians that Africans were nothing but savages.
Oh, here's the visitor. This is Varney. His family has just moved. Varney doesn't know his way around, so father tells Rapopo and Avila to take him with them to school this morning.
the reason Fijians are closely related to Black Americans is because when Africans went out, when so-called Black Africans came out of Asia, they mixed with other people that changed their phenotype to become more darker and more, Hamitic or Negroid. The Fijians and Aetha and the Dani, they come from Southeast Asia, just like a lot of us Black Americans did, depending on which one, right? And what happened is, right, when they came out, what happened was, of course, the Israelites or the Siamese, right, they got shipped out, captured, and sent to Africa and then America. But the other people who weren't Siamese, they were come from other civilizations. They went to Indonesia and then left and went to the islands to escape, and some went to the mountains so they can escape getting their butts put 6 foot deep by the Hamites, right, in Asia, right? So they and then the people that they surrounded, which were Polynesians, some Australians, when they mixed with them, they ended up keeping that shim red Afro look. But the West Africans they ended up mixing with groups that took away that. And a lot of us Black Americans look like the Fijians because we were amalgamated or went through what's it called what Tariq Nasheed called it, a ethnogenesis where we didn't get intermingled with mostly the West African phenotype. Some of us do, but some others don't. So this statement is not really fully true, but let's go back. Now, if you do someone like me, yes, and my sister and my dad, yeah, you do us, yes, we look close relate to, except for maybe our nose, but because we had a different ethnogenesis than the other Black Americans. Our ethnogenesis, we didn't get most of the West Africa. We got the Fijian look. So yeah.
In school, the teacher wears sandals and a long native dress. The children are used to having to outdoors. Now the teacher calls on Davila to read what is written on the blackboard.
Experience. Like for me, the biggest compliment I got when I was here is, "Oh, I thought you were Fijian." Oh yes, I hope you think I'm Fijian, because then the people treat you different. I have a much more local experience.
Because Black people, so remember, a lot of Black people used to look like the West African. No offense to West Africa. A lot of us used to look like that. But what happened is the people in Europe, the Black Europeans, a lot of them took Judean slaves. And I learned this from Lex Will, and it's actually a tough pill to swallow. But a lot of them took Judean slaves who looked like the Fijian, sort of, and got that phenotype of the Fijian, so-called. And that's why a lot of us look Fijian. But some of us used to look West African and stuff like that, if that makes sense.
It's just, you get treated differently when you're not viewed as a tourist. I mean, I'm still a tourist, obviously, but... So that being said, what's the...
Okay, your church, you don't have any pictures, so I don't know what you are, but at least you are coming forward as a that culture, anything without we're trying to...
See, there goes a smart Fijian. We Fijians are not African. We are Melanesian. We're DNA is closer to Asian than African. Yes, because the African mixed with... What does it say right here? I'm gonna pull it up one more time. Shout out to Lex Will, but Hamiticized Negroes, right? According to Kuhn, typical Hamitic features traits that include narrow facial features. And Arthur, I can't say that word, visage, light brown and dark brown skin tone, very dark brown skin tone, by the way. Wavy, curly, straight. These are not Negro phenotypes. This is not Negro. These are Negroids or Hamites, right? Right? Africans are more Negroid. They're more Negro with a little bit of Austronesian too, which is another branch of Ham, Canaan, right? We're not going to watch the entire video. We're going to skip them.
Polynesian Islands, right? But common sense also lets us know that you could not possibly be in the Malaysian Islands like in Fiji and never have made it to the Polynesian Islands in Tonga and didn't make it to all the people there look is deep and land from a place and create. Okay, so I'm around Polynesians and I'm around Micronesians. I don't think there's any much Melanesians coming. But Micronesians, Polynesians, everywhere in Hawaii, and let me tell you, they don't have the same issues that you are addressing here. But as a person from Fiji, who's coming from the Melanesian Islands, you know Melanesian means black, right? Melanin, black, that's the whole reason why they did that. It's because people there look black, okay? I'm going to start up right there with a little bit of something from Fiji and possibly Papua New Guinea. Please keep this map in mind because I want to show you that when I say Polynesian, I want you to know how far Polynesian Islands are from these Melanesian Islands and how far these Polynesian Islands from Micronesian Islands, right? But common sense also lets us know that you could not possibly be in the Malaysian Islands like in Fiji and never have made it to the Polynesian Islands in Tonga and didn't make it to all these other islands here, okay? If people go from this island to this island, these people can go to this island, and so, you know, better. This is the Asian people of Fiji. So one that says German and his Germans were paying the nose food, that, cultures. But when you take it back into the most indigenous culture, this and Darcy and House. I've seen it.
Listen, woman, it's not that hard. The tribes in Papua Indonesia are older than the tribes in Papua New Guinea, Fiji. They share an ancestor of Papuans in Indonesia. When you look at the Papuans in Indonesia, they don't have that mixture as the Ephesians and Vanuatu have. They have the different. They have their the full Negro feature. That's why they have afros, like full thick afros and locks. You guys have afros and some grow locks too, but it's not as Afro textured as the ones in Indonesia, because you guys came from Indonesia and Papua New Guinea and settled into islands. It makes more sense, right? But here, these West Africans, right? Most of West Africa speaks French over here. There's the tribes in Liberia and Cape Verde, they're the Crew people who speak French, that are known as maritime seafarers. How did they get here? They took a boat from France. Or they took the boat from France and went down here and moved down here. It's easy. It's easy. Come on now. But yeah, y'all, that's it. Afro Think Tank. I just proved that you're the unknowledgeable and I'm the knowledgeable. If you would like to learn more, just come watch my videos. Go watch Lex Will. We got the truth. But I'm out.